everybody. Hi, and welcome. I'm Eleanor Levine, the Program Director at the Center for Chinese Studies. And on behalf of the Center and the Institute of East Asian Studies, I'd like to welcome you all to this very special performance. And I'm going to introduce Professor Lindy Lee Mark, who is Professor Emeritus from She will be our guide through this musical journey. Thank you for coming.
I'm very happy to see everyone. Now I'll ask, should I speak English or Chinese? You don't know what pleasure I have in introducing you today. I met her for the first time either 7 or 8 years ago at a Chinese oral and performing literature conference. She sang at a post-conference dinner without any accompaniment. I was just bowled over, really bowled over. And now, having read some of her writings, I consider her really one of the really brightest stars in Chinese performance literature and classical literature. I feel very honored that she asked me to introduce her today.徐芃received her BA and MA degrees from Beijing University, otherwise known as BEL, in Chinese bibliography and in medieval Chinese literature, classical Chinese literature. Her PhD is from the University of Chicago. She received that in 2014 in pre-modern Chinese literature. She has taught Chinese opera and performance at the University of Chicago and Rutgers. Lucky guys then. And now she's been appointed to an assistant professorship at Swarthmore University. Now a few words about her performance accomplishments. Her work, and I think she is highly accomplished in whatever she does. I've heard her sing some Yue opera, and she's very, very good. And if you Google her name on YouTube, you will find examples of her performance. So her earliest exposure to Chinese opera was Peking opera. And she studied with a professional leader of the Shenyang Peking Opera Troupe, then stationed in Beijing. Since that time, after she went to Beida, she also studied with Liu Zhengfu, a professor there, and with other teachers. And sometime during her tenure at Beida, she became interested in Kunqu. I will let her tell you about that after she sings. It is a particular characteristic of Kunqu that the emphasis is on the initial consonant. So unlike bel canto singing, where you kind of slough over the consonants and you focus on the vowels because that carries the sound of the music. So you will hear her sing bo di. This bo is a very strong kind of a thing. I have had friends, European friends, who said, you know, that Kunqu you sing, it's kind of very choppy. And I tried to figure out why they say it's choppy. And I realized it was because this focus on the initial consonant of each word. The word is divided according to the Chinese切韵system, which I call word spelling. You have one word, the initial consonant is one word. The vowel, the medials, is another word. And then the final is another word. Now in Kunqu, because it's a highly melismatic style of singing, where one word is sung over maybe 2 or 3 beats to maybe 12 or 10 notes. So the custom is to sing each vowel. If it's a diphthong, you have 2 vowels. If it's a triphthong, you have 3 vowels. So words like wei might be sung as hu wei. So if one word is sung like 3 words, well, yeah, it is hard to understand. Now, most Chinese people who are 昆曲 aficionados, they know the words already. Now,徐芃has provided both the Chinese and the English translation in your handout. And if you want to follow her singing in Chinese, you can look at the Chinese characters, but don't expect it to sound like pinyin. So that is what makes Kunqu a very distinctive style, but I think it also makes it very beautiful. Now I'll just say a few words about the play. Now she is singing one excerpt, one scene from a 49-scene 传奇 opera, so it's very long. Now, in 传奇 opera, very often, towards the last third or last quarter of the scene, there is one scene in which a minor character in the play comes out and sort of sings a summary of what went before, a reprise of all of the events that preceded his or her entrance. Sometimes there are 2 people that does the scene. So the scene that she is singing today, 弹词, is about, well, it's gone already, about an old musician from the court of Tang Minghuang. And after the rebellion of An Lushan, the court was just sort of scattered, and the capital Chang'an was sacked. And for many of the court musicians escaped to southern China. And I found this poem among the Tang collection of Tang Dynasty poems written by Du Fu. And Du Fu wrote this poem because he met this particular singer somewhere in Jiangnan. He didn't say in the poem where he met him. So this musician, his name is Li Guinian. Guinian, as those of you who know Chinese, means tortoise years. It may not sound too graceful in English, but turtles are long-lived, so it's actually considered a very auspicious name. Now, Li Guinian was the head of the Imperial Music Academy in the palace of Tang Minghuang. But he escaped to southern China, and as the scene begins, he is essentially a homeless minstrel wandering the streets, singing to make a living. And one day he was lamenting his sad fate, and then he met some people who wanted to hear him sing about the good old days of the Tang Dynasty. And that is essentially the setting of this particular scene. Now, the part that徐芃is going to sing today is what we call a full white-beard old man role. So when this petite young lady comes out, you have to imagine her with a white beard down to here and singing as an itinerant minstrel to an audience such as us. I think you will be very surprised at what you hear. And I think she is extremely skilled, and I'm just very, very impressed by her performance. So I think now I'll say a few words about our accompanist today. Our flutist is Professor Daniel Chen. He is a research scientist in biophysics, specializing in oncology from the University of Colorado. His wife is a specialist in the travel industry, and both of them learned Kunqu from my parents in Honolulu many years ago. And I'm so pleased that he and his wife came to accompany徐芃. And I think it's an indication of how enthusiastic they are about her performance as well. So now, let us welcome徐芃, Professor Chen, and Mrs. Chen.